emotional intelligence will lead to a better life. I've heard this fact before, but I haven't always known what it meant. Dictionary.com defines emotional intelligence as the skill of perceiving, understanding, and managing emotions and feelings. And so now, after reading that, it makes sense to me. All humans in this world have emotions and feelings. So if you can be highly skilled at understanding and managing them, that will put you at a higher level of living. Journaling has been proven to increase a person's emotional intelligence. And in this episode, I want to teach you exactly how to journal in a way that makes you more intelligent emotionally. If this is your first time tuning in, there's a subscribe or follow button somewhere on the platform you're using. Every week, I release a piece of content similar to what I'm doing here today, right now. And my goal each time is to give knowledge and tell real, authentic, and purposeful stories to help you create a vision for your life and get closer to your purpose. A purpose where you're having a positive impact on those around you and on the world. And so I want to tell you a story about myself. Since I was a little kid, I've been a really good writer. My mom used to try to persuade me to write children's books when I was in my teenage years. But I didn't think that I could be a writer and still be successful. I thought I had to be a professional athlete because of my environment. See, I didn't even dream of a life outside of sports. But then reality sunk in, and sports was no longer my best option. I was forced to figure out another path of success. After years of trial and error, I landed right back at the gift that I turned my back on as a kid. Once I started opening my mind to the possibilities, God started giving me knowledge and understanding about the art of writing. And it all started with my self-awareness, which is rooted in emotional intelligence. So now when I say writing, I don't mean writing essays or trying to write a novel. I want you to think about writing in the form of journaling. It's just writing down on a piece of paper what you're telling yourself in your mind. It's just a different form of communication. And so I'm going to give you 3 gems about journaling and emotional intelligence. And I want you to meditate on what I tell you today and see if it resonates with your spirit. And so now here it is. Number 1, journaling gives you the opportunity to track your mental growth. So since you're putting your thoughts down on paper, you're able to look at what you wrote at any point of time in the future and realize in real time the difference between what you thought in the past and what you're thinking right now. And so now this is valuable because we have so many thoughts per day that it is humanly impossible to remember every thought that you ever had. And in July of 2020, there was a study released by Queen's University in Canada, and they stated that the average human has 6,200 thoughts per day. Now imagine trying to keep track of your thoughts in a span of a month. It's impossible. With journaling, you're able to turn your thoughts into a physical thing that you can actually touch and keep for next time you want to read it again. And so when you read it again, you can gain understanding about yourself by seeing how you think and what you tell yourself. Very important things. And that brings me to my next point. Journaling helps you to stay disciplined with your emotions. If you journal every day and at the end of the week, you read back at what you wrote, you can track what you were thinking and feeling at different times within the week. And by doing this, you can determine if your thoughts were good or bad. And actually, Shakespeare says that nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And so once you determine when your thoughts are good or bad, you can then intentionally decide to change your thoughts moving forward and create the life that you want for yourself. And so I'll give you an example from my own personal journey. And this is me just getting really open and transparent. But maybe about 2 years ago, I was in a really dark place. Honestly, I was a womanizer. I found myself using women for personal pleasures without caring about their emotions. So during this time, I was also journaling. I would write how I felt about myself and what I thought about the world and what I was experiencing. And I would look back at my thoughts from that time, and I didn't like what I was going through. I didn't like what I was doing, right? I could see from journaling that I was in a dark place, just the way I was thinking and talking. I felt like it wasn't my true human nature. And so reading back over what I wrote, it made me take a leap of faith and commit to cutting sex completely out of my life for the span of a year. And of course, that journey was very, very hard, but it was something that I was motivated to do because through journaling, I knew that I wanted to change the way that I thought and the way that I think about the world. But that whole action, it started once I started journaling, and I realized that I needed to throw them bad thoughts away. And then I was able to be intentional and really meditate on my thoughts and decide if this was the life that I wanted to live for myself, or if I wanted to create a different story. And this actually leads me to my last point, which is journaling teaches you how to release your negative emotions. And so for this gem, I want you to think about the practice of therapy. And side note, I actually started therapy within the past 6 months or so. So I think I'm qualified to speak on this. But the practice of therapy is really just your therapist asking you questions, hard questions, right? And then you venting and sharing what's on your heart and what's in your mind. And writing, journaling can have that same effect for you. But instead of speaking the thoughts, you're going to write them down. And writing them down helps you to release them, helps you to get them out of your system. And recently, I've learned about something called Scientology. Some people even call it a religion, but Scientology is basically the belief that if you remove all the negative things from your body and from your mind, all that's left is positivity. And so I somewhat believe in this, but I also believe that journaling can help with that process, because by journaling your negative thoughts, you're getting them out of your system. And so once you're able to actually see what you're thinking, it's kind of like a reality check, right? Like, wow, this is what's going through my mind, and it goes back to that self-awareness piece. Like for me, self-awareness changed my entire life. Once I became aware of what I was doing, I was able to make a decision on whether this was good for me or whether this was bad for me, right? Based on the future and the vision that I created for myself. And now to get you started on your journey of journaling, right, I want to give you 3 questions to start for your first journal entry. And the first one is this: what am I grateful for today? Right, so just write this down on a piece of paper and start listing out the things that you're grateful for. And then also, if you have any questions, write the questions out too. And number 2 is, what did I do today that I was proud of? And so really think back on your day, the past 24, 48 hours, or whatever you can remember, and write down, what was I proud of today? And lastly, number 3, what can I do tomorrow to get closer to my goal? Right, so whatever that goal is for you, if that goal is to buy a house, if that goal is to find a partner, if that goal is to be a millionaire, right? Really think about what you want to do or what you can do tomorrow to get closer to that goal. And just write whatever comes to your mind when you think about that question, right? Because I'm sure a lot of things come into your mind when you think about that question. But this is just getting you ready for the process of journaling. It's just taking the thoughts up from your mind and writing them down on paper. But it's key, right? You can't pressure yourself. Don't think that it has to be written in a certain way or in a certain language, right? Just write out whatever is in your mind, literally whatever. Make it as easy as possible. And as you begin to do this daily, by taking 5 to 10 minutes to journal, you'll start to see improvement in your skill of writing, right? Because anything you do with time and dedication, you'll get better at it. And so journaling and writing is one of those things that you can get better at. And it can improve your quality of life if you get better at it, because emotional intelligence is rooted in self-awareness, like I mentioned before. And that's all I have for you today. Hope this episode was valuable to you. Hope you were able to learn something from it. And please, if you didn't learn anything from it, I challenge you to go back and start the episode over and rewatch it, right? It's not a long episode, so you can do it quickly. But what you do get from this, make sure you share it with a friend and then implement it into your life. And let me know how your journaling process goes. If you still have questions after you listen to this over and over again, feel free to reach out to me. My Instagram is visionarycj, CEEJ. And my email is christian@ visionarywriting.co. So feel free to hit me up anytime about anything. And I look forward to hearing from you. And I can't wait to see you next week. Peace and love. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more, click the videos next to me or visit yourvisionarypodcast.com. I also offer one-on-one coaching on topics of business, personal power, and positivity. If that interests you, head over to mymentor.life/Christian Brown. I hope to hear from you soon. Peace and love.